Welcome, everyone, to episode 43 of the Looks Like a Movie podcast. My name's Kevin. I'm here with Doug, Owen, and our guest today, Marta, who is on TikTok at marta.mcfly, and you can find her writing online. All of her links will be in the episode description. And today we're going to be talking about Black Christmas and doing a Christmas draft. But first, welcome to the podcast, Marta.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm very excited to be here, very flattered, and I'm excited to talk about this movie.
Did I miss anything in that intro? Is there anything else you
No,
want to
I'm
promote?
actually very stoked that you mentioned my writing because some people don't, and it's like that's kind of what I prefer. But yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, we're gonna start with our little weekly watches. I was gonna ask Doug if you want to go first because I know you're dying to talk about Godzilla minus one.
Yeah, I watched
Um,
Godzilla minus one this week. I don't know if anybody's heard of this little movie. It's also like the best blockbuster of the year. That shit rips. Kind of came out of didn't come out of nowhere. I was excited about it because I like Shin Godzilla a lot, but I don't think that Shin Godzilla is like a masterpiece like some Godzilla heads do or anything. I think it's just like a really solid movie. So I went into it with like kind of like, oh, this is gonna be a really cool, solid movie expectations, and I was like, oh, this is like um Top Gun Maverick, you know? I was like, this is like the best
yeah,
fucking movie ever, dude. Um,
it is kind of like
yeah.
this year's Top Gun Maverick now.
I'm
Yeah, no, I
excited
kept
for it.
saying
I'm
that.
seeing it next week.
I'm seeing it like
Yeah.
right after this podcast, so
Oh shit.
my thoughts will be out when this episode is out.
Are there any other ones, Doug, that you want to talk about?
Uh, no, it's been a very slow week for me. It was really just Godzilla minus one and Black Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Marta, do you want to go then since you're our guest?
Yeah, I guess I watched a lot of stuff this week. Last night was really cool. I saw Tarkovsky's Ivan's Childhood on the big screen, 35
Oh
millimeter. That
shit.
was like
Oh my god.
amazing. Wouldn't recommend someone to watch it like on an imported print for the first time because the subtitles from back then are terrible. Like you
Yeah.
can't see half of them if the background is white. They don't like you just can't see them. So, but that
Yeah.
was fun. What else? I watched The Sweet Smell of Success for the first time. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Nah, it is on my watch
Highly.
list, I think.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, I can go through all of them or just some highlights. Another highlight was Les Blank's garlic documentary that I'm
Oh
trying to
yeah.
get like everybody to watch. It's really good. It's on the Criterion channel. I think it's 45 minutes long. It's just stunning and human and also silly. Like Werner Herzog makes a cameo to talk about vampires and garlic for like 5 minutes.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
That rocks.
Yeah. So that's kind of me.
Nice. Okay.
Mhm.
I rewatched Oppenheimer with the little script book in hand. That was super fun.
What's that movie about? I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, what
Yeah, I was gonna be annoying when you said Godzilla minus one is the blockbuster of the year and then just bring up Oppenheimer right away, but I didn't want to ruin your moment. Um, what else? Oh, speaking of documentaries, I watched Kokomo City, which is the only documentary I've seen this year, but after I watch some more, it might still be my favorite. It's really good. And then I watched May December twice in the past 24 hours now that it's been put on Netflix. Second favorite movie of the year. It's right behind Oppenheimer for me. I adore it.
that
It's
movie
really,
rips.
yeah, it is
Doug's got to
so
get on
good.
that one.
I honestly,
Me too.
like it sounds crazy, but I kind of just want to watch it again tonight. But I think that might be overkill. So I'm gonna maybe not do that. And I also saw Godzilla minus one, which is really good, and would have been perhaps even better if it were not for the guy sitting right in front of me, who was one of the worst moviegoers I've ever encountered in my life, and also like kind of weirdly racist. So yeah, just not a cool dude to share the theater with. But the movie was great.
I'm
Anyway,
excited for it.
Owen, do you?
Yeah, I did a lot of rewatching this week. It was kind of a more lazy week. I was in the late stages of editing a short that will be out the week that this episode comes out, so look out for that. I rewatched The Holdovers. I showed my mom because it's on digital now. I
Very
rewatched
topical for our Christmas episode, by the way.
very
Mm.
topical. Might be
Might
talking
might
about that
might
movie
get
later.
picked. Yeah.
might get a little picked later. Rewatched The Guardian, which is a William Friedkin horror movie. It's like a fantasy horror movie that has like giallo kind of influences, and it has like a very Evil Dead vibe to it. Sam Raimi was initially attached, but it later became a Friedkin project. Underrated little horror movie that I really adore. I think the best movie I did watch was something I watched a couple days ago, which is Paul Morrissey's Flesh, which is a Warhol production. Yeah, that it's, I don't know. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but I think that is one of my favorite
No,
movies.
break that down frame by frame for us right now.
Frame by frame, there's a lot of naked men in the movie.
Nice.
Yeah, so that is my week
Sweet.
wrapped up in
All
one
right.
sentence.
I guess we could jump into Black Christmas then. Is there anywhere that we want to start?
No.
All of
I've
us
never
have
seen this movie
this was a
before.
rewatch for all of us except for Doug, right?
Doug. Doug, how is that?
Um,
How is that first watch?
It's cool. The narrative, listen, because this is kind of like a proto slasher in a lot of ways, like like it predates the genre as we understand it, you know.
Sure.
That it's a lot slower than I was expecting narratively. Like a lot less stuff happens
Sure.
than I thought was gonna happen. Like the first
Yeah.
death, like there's only one death for the first like 45 minutes of the movie, and I was like, oh,
I think
okay.
even longer
I guess,
than
like,
that. I feel like
Yeah,
I don't think anybody else dies
we just
until the
keep
last 30
cutting
minutes.
back to that lady in the attic.
The
for a
rocking chair.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which is a great,
Which is a really amazing
all
image.
timer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
okay,
yeah,
what
that's
is your
a good
guys'
one.
relationship with Black Christmas? Because I've never seen it before. I know that it's like its influences are kind of like loom larger shadows than it does itself. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it for the first time, I want to say like probably exactly a year ago, with a bunch of people in our Discord, and now rewatching. I guess I had kind of like forgotten most of what happens. So I thought it would just be like I thought rewatching it would just be kind of like a simple thing to squeeze into my day. I didn't really remember it being as scary as it was. Because you guys know I scare pretty easily, and
Watch it on a
there's
bigger screen this time.
well, I watched it like in my room in the dark, like on
okay.
my projector.
Probably a little different than
And
on Discord.
yeah, well, like it's different watching it alone in the dark
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like I said, I get scared easily, and there's definitely like a scene in particular that makes me really uncomfortable. That we could get
yeah,
into.
no, there's some scary
later.
moments in this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I could even just say it now. Like, it's just like probably my favorite moment in the movie. But when she like swings the door open and finds the two dead bodies, and then there's just like the little hole in the door, and he's just like standing right there, like staring.
Yeah,
It's just like the worst thing ever. Like, I hate it so much. In a good way. In a good way. It just makes me really uncomfortable. Yeah. Anyway, that's my experience.
With
yeah.
me,
Oh, you can go,
sorry,
Marta.
go ahead.
No, you go. You're the guest. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't remember the first time I watched it. I think maybe 2019. But what I thought was really cool with this rewatch is because since then I've gotten really, really into Giallo movies, and I find it so interesting how much influence there is here. Like tons.
Yeah, this is like a Canadian giallo. Like I immediately clocked into that.
Totally.
Like,
Same, yeah, but it seems more crude, and I say that lovingly because I do really like this movie, but it's not as elegant, I guess I would say, as like an Italian true giallo. But I thought that was really cool. Plus, there's the connection of the guy who plays the lieutenant. He was in the very first giallo movie by Mario Bava, and then he was also in Argento's Tenebrae. So that's a cool connection.
that is cool.
John Saxon, is that what we're talking about? But I
Yeah,
I've seen this. John Saxon also what is it? Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was like, he's the one in Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He's really great at playing like a really shitty cop. So I've seen this. I've seen this one. That's a big thing with the cops. I've seen this one a ton of times. I always go back to it. I'm a big slasher fan, and I think this is like Doug talked about a little proto slasher. I mean, it is why we have Halloween. So it is like why we have like pretty much all of them. And I go back to this one. I'm not really big on how the first Halloween, and I think this is kind of that for me. What a lot of people get out of that first Halloween is this for me, because I just think formally there's some really great stuff going on, and I I'm a big fan of those POV shots. We get those great ones in
I was
this
gonna
one.
mention- I was gonna mention that.
There's so many really cool like point of view kills.
Well, if we want to get into like the actual movie, that's the first thing when the movie started. I was wasn't aware of that, and the movie started. I was like, oh, this is like some really awesome handheld, and then he starts climbing up the terrace, and I was like, oh, this is like he's wearing the camera. Like this is crazy. Like
no, that's
and I was trying to think logistically how they did that back then.
It
but...
really doesn't get. It's like a popular movie in a sense, but it is nowhere as big as something like Halloween, where I mean, you know, it's
Halloween's
like that's
one of, like the 30 most popular movies ever. Like
no, I know, that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
It's an interesting because I think
but
it's
like people don't really talk
way,
about it.
I think
You're
it's way better than the first Halloween movie.
I think so too.
Which it's fascinating, but yeah, I go back to this one a lot because I think it's just in terms of just like creative, unique kills that kind of are the backbone of the little genre there. I think this is where it's at for sure. Also, Christmas is just a fun. You know, we have countless holiday theme slashers now. You know, we just got Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We have, you know, there's a long list, but I think Christmas is just a fun one. You know, snow. It's an interesting environment. I like it's kind of you know, we're in one location for a lot of the movie, which I really think is fun. You know, we go to other places, but we're in that house for a good amount, and it's all about the house, I guess. But I really like the use
even
of
outside of the house. The whole movie takes place on the college campus.
And this one little, it's really just one little area. It's a confined space that I think is fun because I mean, more slashers today aren't really gonna have a broader area, but I think the smaller location really is so fascinating use of that aspect of the movie.
Yeah, plus the phone calls.
Yeah, well, that's another. I mean, you have When a Stranger Calls, but that's like an iconic.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, that I didn't realize this is where that came from.
Yeah, like the whole like the calls coming from inside the house.
Coming from inside the house. I thought that was like from When a Stranger Calls.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Yeah, well, it's a weird thing. I remember we watched it. I think when Kevin first watched it, I don't remember who said it, but we were just talking about how like that sort of line or kind of trope is in the movie, and it's like we've seen that before, or you know, it's a kind of a thing that's embedded in culture, but this is where it kind of started there. So I think it doesn't get enough credit for how much influence it has on, you know, horror in general.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is it came out the same year as Texas Chainsaw, right? But it carries the exact same tropes that we all associate with Texas Chainsaw, as in like the final girl and all this stuff. And it's like, why isn't Black Christmas getting the exact same amount of recognition for starting these trends as Texas Chainsaw?
Because Texas Chainsaw is a better movie.
I mean, yeah, I do like Texas Chainsaw. I mean, more so like it should still be in the running for a conversation.
I think it should be in that conversation for sure. It kind of is left
also,
out.
Texas Chainsaw is this huge franchise too that is like still relevant
well,
today. Because
that's the thing with that's the thing when you talk about Black Christmas, Texas Chainsaw, Halloween is Texas. I mean, there's there's 2 remakes for Black Christmas, but I mean Texas Chainsaw and Halloween have countless iterations that keep it kind of alive.
There's like 13 Halloween movies, like 7 Texas Chainsaw movies, like
which definitely helps keep it kind of alive in the conversation.
I was gonna ask too, and like while we're on the subject, I guess like in terms of influence, also, I don't know if this plays a role at all, but like Texas Chainsaw has a very like visible, iconic killer, and I was gonna kind of talk about that because most of like we don't really see him other than like we hear him on the phone a lot
at all.
But yeah,
the iconic
I don't know
part
if
of
that
it
plays
is the
any
phone,
role.
right? And then all these movies bite that. You know, there's so many American movies that like take that idea, so that it kind of makes it less tied to this too. You know,
I just imagine it's easier for people to
in terms of just like a branding iconicism, like franchise element. It is kind of lesser in that way. I was reading,
nobody has a mask made of human skin.
I was reading a thing where it's John Carpenter and he's talking to Bob Clark and he's like asking him what he would do for a Black Christmas sequel, and he basically just gives him the plot for Halloween. And he's like, well, the guy would be in an insane asylum and he would break out, and then he would find the people back, and it would be on Halloween. So it's like it's like, I don't know. It's a funny, like, if Bob Clark never wanted to make a sequel, but like if John Carpenter wanting it to be tied to that, it would be an interesting, especially when they wanted to do like those Halloween anthology movies.
Anthology,
it'd be interesting if they just kind of made like all these different holiday movies kind of like tied together, but they were just like different holidays, and it was like a streamlined thing of this one guy just like going around different holidays, like trying to kill people. I don't know, there's something, it's interesting, the kind of tie to holidays and slashers is kind of a fascinating idea that seems to be kind of embedded in that culture.
Yeah, all we need now is a Thanksgiving slasher movie to really tie it all together.
No.
Something that hasn't been done before.
Maybe someone should get on that.
Yeah.
I gotta call my guys or something.
Do we want to talk about any specific moments in the movie?
Well, I wanted to ask you guys, have any of you seen either of the remakes? Because there's one in 2006, and I think there was one in 2019.
I know there's one that people like.
Doesn't the
The
first
2006
remake
one has some
give
fans.
doesn't the first remake give like Billy's like backstory, like
The
give
Rob
us all
Zombie
of, like-
action?
Oh,
I don't know if that's true, but I'm pretty sure like all of
think
this like
the first
stuff
remake-
that this movie doesn't reveal gets revealed
So,
in one of the remakes.
The first remake's letterbox like thing says an escaped maniac returns to his childhood home on Christmas Eve. Which is now a sorority
like we
house,
don't really even get that
yeah.
in this movie,
which is
so
interesting.
I feel like they give details, I guess, more about.
I was actually interested.
wonder-
I do want to watch this movie.
I wonder if it matches the backstory that Bob Clark gave himself, because there was an interview where he tells you the entire, well, not the entire backstory, but he explains a little bit about Billy, which is the guy's name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it would align with that. Who knows?
Yeah. And I don't even know if this movie really
I'm reading the
needs
plot
that
to the
either.
remake. This is messed up, guys. This movie seems really messed up.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2006 horror. It's gonna be like that grunge kind of
It's like
style.
Rob Zombie kind of era when that
Yeah.
was bigger.
Rob Zombie, those Texas Chainsaw remakes, that kind of era.
Hostel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that kind of
Hostel,
dirty horror movie where
Dirty
everything's kind of in the mud.
Yeah, like the dirt under your
It's so
fingernails
true.
horror.
Everything's kind of Texas Chainsaw inspired.
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I thought of that when rewatching it. I was like, I do want to check these out because I've seen the first one so many times.
I know there's some
planning on
people who are
watching the
kind
remake
of
before this episode.
Yeah, I know there's some
Yeah,
people who are
it's-
kind of like remake truthers who like really like that 2006
Well, I know that.
remake.
Yeah, there's people that
but
really like the 2006
was there
one.
like is there like a 2019 one that's like really hated?
Yeah, that one I hear is bad.
Yeah,
Really?
there's a
That one I
2019
heard
it
is
has like
bad.
a 1.8 average on Letterboxd or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What
if
does the
that movie
sequel
has
have?
any-
What's the rating for the sequel?
I don't
Or
think
for the
it's
first
too
remake?
high. I don't think it's too high either.
The
But
2006 sequel has a 2.6.
yeah, but I know that there's. But I
Sounds
know
like
it has some. I know it
sounds
has
like
like
a
some
great
actual
banger.
fans though. I don't.
Well, wait,
Yeah,
what
no,
did we
there's
all
people
rate
that-
Black Christmas? I'm curious.
It is a 4.5 for me.
Same.
Yeah, it's
And I
4
think
for
for
me.
Owen as
Doug gave it
well.
a 4. Doug is the
Yeah,
only.
Doug
I gave it a
non-4.
4. Sorry.
We could have
My
had
bad,
this. Could have
guys. My
been
bad.
this. Could
My
have been the
bad.
second time in 3 weeks that we all had the same rating. We would
Wow.
And
have.
it was a four-way tie, Doug. Think about
Yeah,
the
you
four-way
ruined
tie.
I know, I messed it up. I'm sorry. I got to be
I'll
true to myself.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, it's okay. We respect that here. That's important.
No, this is a very cool movie, and I because like we talk about like so much of horror is like as in terms of like in like pop culture and like the lasting power of horror is tied to like the creation of iconic images, and the only like real iconic image from this first Black Christmas movie, which is an amazing image, is the her with the bag on her head in the chair that they cut to like 8 times,
Yeah.
and it's on the poster, and it's like, but that's like a really really powerful image. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that rocks.
Yeah, because in hindsight, I can't think of if you were to ask me to list the different kills right now, I would only be able to remember that one.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
really
I
like the
remember
one
him
with the I like the one with the
swinging
hook. Yeah, the swinging
the hook.
hook.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
That's
that's a
pretty
good one,
cool.
that's a
I
good
Yeah.
one,
like
that's
the
cool.
the ice sculpture, like where he stabs
Oh,
the
it's like a
dude.
unicorn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just like the shot there because it's very like blacked out background, and we really just
Mhm.
focus on
Yeah.
that
I
ice
mean,
there.
really for me, I like a lot of the phone call stuff more than the kills
Yeah,
because like every time he's on the phone, it's just like
dope.
he's just a freak. Like he's just
No,
Yeah.
bro, the scariest part of the movie, honestly, to me, is that first phone call where they all gather
because
around and then
you haven't
Lois
seen the
Lane.
movie either, so like you were
No,
not
yeah.
expecting that at
Yes.
all.
No, and it sounds like he's like gooning on the call, and then Lois Lane is like, hey, go somewhere else, you freak. And then he like is like, I'm gonna kill you, and then hangs up. That shit
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
rocks. I
Terrifying.
was like, holy shit. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah,
oh,
no, Margot Kidder is I one of my favorite actresses.
my she's amazing. I love Margot Kidder.
Lois, I mean, you say Lois Lane, she's
Yeah.
also uh Brian De Palma's sisters is like her biggest lead role to me. She's fantastic in that. Also, she like plays I think she plays the therapist in Halloween 2 when
Oh,
what's her name is all like traumatized. She goes
Yeah,
to
no, I know what you're
see
talking about.
Margot Kidder. Fantastic
I remember that.
actress.
I didn't
You
pick
also
up on
have
that.
I didn't pick
Olivia
on that either.
Hussey, who is fucking Juliet from Romeo
Yeah.
and Juliet, and
Yeah.
I love her like her vibe in this movie because it feels like you just ripped her out of Romeo and Juliet, and
Well,
she's just
her
like
accent really sticks out in this
yeah,
movie.
yeah, no,
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she's not talking the same way as everyone else. Um,
yeah, no, I think she's really fascinating like as a character in this because it just feels
Mhm.
like she's still in Romeo and Jet a little bit. Like she just got
well,
off Romeo and Juliet and like came over here, and now she's like trying to fit in. But I don't know. It's an interesting performance to me.
speaking
She's
of,
the
I mean,
one
other,
who had an abortion, right, in the movie?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
she's having it?
yes,
Yeah.
She's the main girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really
yeah,
liked
she's
her. I
really,
also thought it
yeah.
was cool to see an early era slasher that really did kind of give all of these female characters, or a lot of them, just strength, I guess. And they weren't
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
bunch of teens that were like getting drunk, hooking up, dying, you know? Like
Mhm.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of social issues that I think this movie also tackles that are still relevant, which I mean, you
Yeah.
don't
For
see a
sure.
lot of that in slashers
I mean,
from this era.
we even mentioned eearlier the cop stuff.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like a
the
big part.
cops
Like it's like
are
they kind of have to,
horrible.
yeah, and it's like
Every-
the fact that they just have to kind of like repeat the same
Mhm.
thing over and over to them until like something actually happens for it to be
Yeah.
taken seriously is like obviously very true to real life.
So I
Yeah,
have a
it's like,
question about that. What do you guys think about that one cop telling the other one, don't tell her that the killer's inside the house, and then the guy goes and does that immediately anyway?
Oh God.
Like,
I
was
mean,
that good?
it's it's a tough situation. I don't know. I'm not a police officer. Like,
Yeah, well, also like he's like like that cop is really dumb.
Yeah, no,
Like they're
he's
all
yeah.
dumb, but like
That's
that
yeah.
cop like
All-time
like
dumb cop.
he's like a Three
it's a
Stooges character.
it's a bad yeah, exactly. Like it's a bad decision to give him that responsibility in the first place because you
Yeah.
know he can't keep his cool on the phone. Like you know that he's not
Yeah.
gonna be able to like not reveal that.
Throwback.
Yeah, but that's like a tricky situation because
Mhm.
like I don't know how like as I don't know how like as being somebody in her position, you could have a cop be like, just walk out of the house and don't do anything else and not like find it suspicious. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like there's just
Yeah,
really
fair, fair.
no like of course you're gonna ask questions if somebody tells you to do that.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, but then at the end you have like the great where they just kind of leave her there. They just kind of
Right.
dip, which is like
Yeah.
kind of the biggest like
Which
sign
also
of
like
them being
in a
morons.
I don't like I don't know, this is maybe just like a nitpicky like looking into details thing too, but no, but like um the fact that like he's just kind of been hiding in the attic and whatever, right? Like
Mhm.
and then they leave her at the end, like wouldn't the cops like search a house after all of this
You would
happened? Like
think.
after
No,
people got murdered?
They think
and
they got
stuff?
the killer. They think they
Yeah.
got the killer. So why
I
the
think they
cops
get
are
it.
like, oh, we
That's
did
why.
it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
they-
but there's
What are they
like
searching
people.
for? They
I
think
don't
they got
know.
the
Like
killer.
people
What else are
died.
they
People
looking
like
for?
died there though. Like there's like dead bodies in the house. I don't know. Like I
Yeah,
feel
but
like
then-
she would at least
mean-
like.
It's the 70s. I mean,
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. I don't know. I just
They'll
thought,
come back.
like-
They'll come back around next week. It's like they got shit to do.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the ending though? I mean, since we're already kind of dancing around.
Yeah, I
that?
mean we're there.
Yeah, I mean the ending rocks.
It's yeah, it's a nice. It's like I think it's a nice stinger, which is interesting. I don't know. I don't know if like people. It would be interesting to like for something that come out now and kind of get that instant reaction online or just like in discussion because I think it's like a really fascinating way to end a movie, and I think it's like I think it would be very polarizing to end it something like that. But definitely it's fascinating that I don't know. I just think it's an interesting way to end it. And it leaves you wanting for more, which I think is fascinating. But it's also like Bob Clark was very clear. He's like, I think it was I was reading. He was like, I didn't go into this industry to just do horror movies. So I'm gonna go do Christmas movies and like weird baby movies or whatever.
It kind of feels like. Let me know if you bounce on this, but like it kind of feels like the
I'll bounce
ending
on
to like a ghost like a Goosebumps book, you know.
Interesting.
Where it's like they got the killer and then then they leave the girl alone and then it's like, oh, the killer's still there and the phone rings and then the movie's over. It's kind of like how a
Yeah.
Goosebumps book would end, where
Mhm.
it's like, oh, you think everything's fine and then there's like
Yeah.
always like R.L. Stein always has that singer at the end where it's like, oh, but
No,
everything's
yeah,
not
that's a good
fine.
point, actually.
Yeah. No, that's fun.
Those used to freak me out as a kid. By the way. I hated
Same.
watching the Goosebumps stuff as a kid.
the puppet
Um,
one.
Oh my god, that one is so scary.
Yeah, the puppet
I,
one. That
I
rocks,
hated that
dude.
shit as a
Yeah.
kid. Oh my god, it gave me nightmares. No, but I mean, it's also like I guess kind of interesting as far because you already mentioned like the social commentary, but the
Mhm.
ending also just like the fact that they're just kind of attacked by this misogynistic killer the entire movie, and then at the end, it's not really a resolution because he's still around. Yeah, I don't know.
But I wonder if that was done to make room for a sequel that never happened. Maybe.
Were studios thinking like that back then?
That's what I
I
was
don't
thinking.
know.
I was just going to say.
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like today we would initially like jump on that and be like, this is like an obvious like the Boogeyman that came out this year and like the way they end that movie is like they're obviously leaving for more. I just think in 1974 it's Bob Clark like been like this is an interesting way to end it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But I also
well,
think
I think you could give
I
him the
think someone
credit
like
that it's,
John
like, an interesting
Carpenter, I think
message.
other people could definitely like John Carpenter be like, hey, where are we going next?
Mhm.
But I don't think that's what Bob Clark was thinking when making.
Yeah,
it.
I
could
feel
be
like
wrong.
I feel like he deserves
Just
some
the way he's
credit for
talking
it just
about.
being an interesting message, like the fact that
Yeah.
these women are terrorized and then it's just
Mhm.
kind of an inescapable thing and there's not a resolution to it.
Which
Yeah,
I think is
it's
I
like-
think is a cool way to end a slasher movie. I guess I mean it is pretty all that slasher craze, but I think it's a cool way to end it because most of the time you're getting like the guy just runs away but the guy just like still being in the house and the girl
Mhm.
being there and you just kind of slowly leaving that space and it very much
it's really
feels like
nothing.
you're
it's
on the
nothing
other side of
changes,
the
you know?
window and you're banging in. You're like a little interstellar moment there. you know,
What a pull.
Matthew McConaughey screaming through the bookcase.
yeah,
like-
you can't tell her that he's up there.
That's funny.
It is kind of. I mean, I really like the ending. I think basically, yeah. I mean, yeah, I like the ending. I don't know what else to say. I really
Yeah,
do.
no, it's a great
No,
ending.
It's
yeah.
a great ending.
It feels.
I
yeah.
mean, do you guys have anything else you want to cover then? I know Marta has some notes. I don't know if there's anything we didn't go over, but
Oh, these are just.
Uh,
I just over prepare. Like it's fun. I did have a
Here-
fun fact that I found super interesting, and that's that Betty Davis was offered the role of the house mother, which I mean would have been amazing.
That would The house mother in this though is really funny. I think she's a
Hysterical.
great character. She's
Mhm.
always got
Like the
her like
most
hidden
comical,
drinks.
like
Yeah.
yeah, the most comically over the top alcoholic in cinema history.
Yeah, yeah. She's like
Like-
opening like the toilet up and like she's
Yeah.
got like hidden
Yeah.
stashes.
It's crazy
she
to
opened
have
the
two
toilet
locations
up,
in
like
the same
sucked on that
house.
thing down and then spit it out. Like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, no.
Like,
Very, very funny movie.
Yeah.
But also like I mean it's really strong kind of tonal balance throughout the
Mhm.
entire thing.
I
Yeah.
got a 2001 jump scare because I didn't know that Keir Dalia was in this movie, and like when he gets introduced, I was like, it like took me like 30 seconds to even like
Yeah.
recognize where I recognized him from because I think this is the only other movie I've ever seen him in that other than 2001. I was like, what the fuck?
He's a fascinating looking guy in this movie.
Yeah, he's got a scary
yeah.
face.
Yeah.
I
He
do
looks
not- I do
way
not
older than
like
her.
his
Like he
face.
looks.
No, yeah. I mean, and he's like the piano, and he's
With
very
the long
creepy.
hair. He's yeah.
Yeah, very creepy performance for just a red herring kind of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a freak, which is like I feel like they don't really go that hard with the red herrings in others. Like I feel like this guy is just actual like evil, but he's just not the evil we're looking
Yeah.
for.
But
He's
it was
just a
almost
really
too on the
bad
nose
guy.
of being a
Yeah.
red herring.
Yeah, true. It's like, but it's like I don't know. It's weird. It's like he's so kind of despicable, but he's not
Mhm.
the.
Yeah, you just don't
he's
feel
not
bad
the
when he
murderer.
dies at all.
No.
Well, because it's like yeah, like it's him doing the piano recital, and it's like he's obviously having a hard time. And then he beats up the piano, and you're like, oh, well, this guy just has some issues. And then, but like when he goes and talks to our final girl, and she's like, I need to have an abortion, and he's like, no, you're not. Absolutely not, you're not. And it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
this guy just sucks, dude. Like, whatever.
Yeah, no, he's just like not good at all. Which I don't know. I think he's an interesting character. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
Doug, you'd be a good person to ask. It was your first time watching it. Was there any point where you were like, that's the killer, or no?
No, like after the search party, when they're talking, when he like has the meeting with her, right?
Mhm.
Alone in the house, I was immediately like, oh, they really want us to think this guy's the killer. I was like, they really want us to think this guy's the killer. So I identified that, but I wasn't like I wasn't like super like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a big reveal and this guy's gonna be the killer. I didn't think that was gonna happen. No.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting looking back on it, like after like post Scream almost, because when you watch something like this, you almost expect like a murder mystery where you're gonna get this grand reveal, and it's setting up him for that grand reveal and that almost like Scream removing of the mask, and you're not getting that because of the way that it's structured and like it's being a pre-Scream kind of pre-slasher thing. So which makes the stinger at the end kind of hit harder because watching it now, you're almost pretty conditioned to expect this grand reveal of or killer, or at least if you're not getting the reveal of something under the mask, you're getting a Michael Myers or a Jason or something like a kind of iconic, more killer that you actually get to see. So the kind of restraint there to not show that is very interesting looking back on it now with all that we've gotten and what the kind of slasher genre has become. It's pretty
yeah, I mean, this
interesting.
guy sounded like a little fucking freak, and we only see the world from his perspective. We never really see him.
Yeah.
Like
we see his eye. We get
Yeah.
I mean, there's the great. I think it's the icicle thing where you get like the silhouette of him, and he looks like I think it's Peter, the boyfriend who wants the abortion, not to get the abortion. You get that
Yeah.
like silhouette that's very similar, which obviously is leading you to believe it, but we don't really get a full picture or much information about him, which I think is probably more interesting than a lot of decisions we get now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that all then? Do we wanna get into Christmas draft mode?
Yeah, I think
up to you guys.
that's good. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
All All right, so we're gonna do a Christmas draft. The rules for this one are pretty simple. We're doing 5 rounds, so we each pick 5 movies. Christmas movies are allowed, as well as any movie that just explicitly has a Christmas scene in it. So it doesn't have to be a Christmas movie.
Christmas
to
is in a
this
very
draft.
loose term.
Yeah.
Movies.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna randomize the order right now. I got my little wheel spinning. So
Mhm. Thank you for
okay.
the proof.
Yeah, you guys got the
Doug is
wheel.
going first. Doug gets first pick.
Oh man.
It's over for you guys.
then
It's so over
That's
for you.
such a
then it's gonna be Marta second, and then it will be me third, and Owen gets back-to-back picks at the end of it. If you're
you
if
want
you're
one
ready,
or four.
Doug,
That's
you
how it
can-
really works.
I am ready. Are we ready to just jump right in? Are we going?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there?
I think
guess.
so.
We're ready to bounce on it. Here we go.
If you
Alright,
guys
this is the most-
want to keep track of your picks, that would be lovely. If
Yes.
not,
Yep.
I'll do my best. But yeah, the floor is yours, Doug. What's your
most
first
obvious,
overall pick?
Number one pick, kind of like only movie that could get picked right here, I think, is Stanley Kubrick's final masterpiece, Eyes Wide Shut, starring the great Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
I
it's,
mean,
that's
I knew
that
I knew
is
that's where
the
you were
number
going.
one overall pick, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know if you wanted to talk about it for a second or whatever, but like,
I mean, it's your pick. It's your pick. You can talk about it.
it's like the greatest movie of all time. Like, you know.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna.
It
take
was on my
first.
list too.
I knew
course.
I knew when you got first pick what was coming, but
I'm so happy I got that. Yeah, if I didn't get that, my whole thing was gonna be messed up. I was like, oh no.
Okay, Marta, then your first
Okay.
round pick.
I hope that nobody was going to take this. Tokyo Godfathers, Satoshi Kon.
It was on my list. I have a lengthy list.
We did a
though.
whole episode on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did.
did you?
Well, yeah.
Well, it was
whole
part of an
Satoshi
episode. We
Kon
did a whole episode on
Yeah, part of
Satoshi
an
Kon.
episode.
It's not very
I
good.
know,
The episode's bad, but
Okay.
we did talk about Satoshi Kon.
Maybe not.
That shit exists on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, not just somewhere on our
On
channel.
here.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I was a little redirection, Kevin. I was pushing him
Yeah.
away.
Okay, I'm gonna. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna take my obvious like default Christmas pick and pick my favorite Christmas movie, especially because Macaulay Culkin just got his star on the Walk of Fame yesterday. I'm gonna take Home Alone with my first pick.
It's a good one.
Lame pick.
Sorry,
That's not
my
the Chris
bad.
Columbus movie
It's
I would have
like-
picked.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I'm
listen,
talking
there
about.
might be 2 Chris Columbus movies on my list, but yeah, no, but this is just like my Christmas movie. He has the same name as me, so I grew up watching it because my parents made me watch
Is that
it.
the reason for the selection, Kevin?
Well, kind of, yeah. Like it was like it's just like a nostalgia thing. Like my parents always brought it up because we have the same name, and it was just like a movie that I watched every Christmas. So it's my default Christmas movie. It's my favorite Christmas movie.
Did that ever happen? to you?
No.
Is this a Kevin biopic moment?
No, I've never been stranded during a family vacation. Actually, well, no.
Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
No, like
Actually,
I've
I
had
don't know.
Well, no, like I've stayed home while while the rest of my family has gone on vacation. It's never been accidental though. I've never been left
Okay.
at
Left.
home. Yeah. Anyway, Home Alone is my first pick. Owen, you have 2 picks in a row now.
I mean, in the spirit of the episode, I'll take Black Christmas here.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
And then
Wonderful pick.
I don't know if you were thinking about doing this, Kevin, but I'm gonna take Oppenheimer here just so you don't take it later because
Oh shit!
That's
because
unexpected.
I think that's
Wait, what's the Christmas scene in Oppenheimer? I don't
where
remember.
they're with
There's a-
Kenneth Branagh and they have the big
Yeah,
party.
he shows up at the big party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct. I did not think
Wow.
anybody was gonna take
From
that.
from downtown.
That's insane.
That rocks, dude. That's an
Um,
incredible pick. Someone would
that's
say that was the
good, yeah.
nuclear bombs of picks in this draft.
Okay.
I guess you could say that.
That's maybe you shouldn't say that though. Have you considered that?
You could.
Okay. Yeah. I like thought about Oppenheimer, but I was like, nobody's gonna do that.
I
You're
didn't
wrong.
think of it.
Yeah, I was totally wrong.
I didn't even consider
That's a
it.
good
I didn't
call.
realize. I forgot about that scene.
Same.
I'm gonna. Do I just be lame? But like the fact you mentioned it makes me want to be lame because now I'm worried that somebody would actually take it. I was just gonna save it for the last round, but
Oppenheimer?
no. I guess I'll take Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the first Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, I would have taken that at some
Which is
point.
like the most, yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah. So I was gonna save it for the end because I thought nobody would bother. But now that you brought it up, Doug, I was like, okay, maybe I should play it
Yeah,
safe.
Kevin.
I'm
Kevin's
actually
a
watching
big
this
Chris
movie.
Columbus fan. He
Yeah, I'm
drafted
actually
2 Chris Columbus
watching.
movies back to back.
I know. I'm watching this movie
Bro, this is the
tomorrow
most
with
Christopher
my.
Columbus we've ever done. Like
No, my
1492,
sister's
bro.
coming home
Holy-
tomorrow, and we're gonna watch this movie together. And I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna watch the first movie with her, and then I'm gonna do a little Harry Potter binge throughout December as a little Christmas tradition.
Cute.
But I'm very excited. This movie is, yeah, I watch this movie like every single Christmas with my sister, so I adore it. This is, yeah, back to back Christopher Columbus picks. My bad.
Shout out Chris Columbus.
That means we're back to Marta.
Oh, me again already. Okay, I'm surprised that you didn't take this, Kevin. Fanny and Alexander Bergman.
I've not
He hasn't
seen
seen
it, but Doug
Oh.
has. And Doug
Yeah.
wants me to watch it,
Um,
I believe. I'm pretty sure Doug has recommended it to me on several occasions.
I also haven't seen it. This is like this
Oh, really?
is the
Oh,
only
you've-
this is the
Oh,
only Bergman
man.
masterpiece I haven't seen is Fanny and
Mhm.
Alexander actually.
I've only
Um,
seen, I will say, I've only seen the theatrical version. I'm gonna try and crush the
Oh, so have you
televised
really
one
seen it
today.
then?
I have. I mean, come on, it's like what, 6 hours long or something?
Yeah.
So, but yeah. After today, it'll count.
Yeah. No, that's a good pick.
Mm.
Yeah, that's like a
okay.
straight Christmas movie too. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we all need to get on that. Everybody needs to watch more Bergman.
That's true. Yeah, that's a blind
Here's
spot.
the
Sorry.
all right, buddy.
Okay. Doug gets back-to-back picks now.
Oh man, I'm about to win this whole thing. I'm picking
Doug says
The
this.
Nightmare-
Doug says this every draft. This is just you. You're winning it. You're winning it for yourself. Like,
I
yeah.
am. I'm about to win it for myself right here. I'm gonna draft The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Henry Selick, one of the great filmmakers. This might be the
Right.
only animated movie that gets picked. Oh, you already picked Tokyo Godfathers.
Damn.
Forgot. But yeah, no, this movie's amazing. Big fan of this. Watch it very often. With my second pick, I'm picking Citizen Kane.
Oh shit.
Yes, there is because you might not remember the whole framing device of Citizen Kane is around Christmas. Rosebud was like Christmas present.
Oh, we remember.
Oh, we know.
Yes.
We've seen
Yeah,
Citizen Kane.
I don't know if you've seen Citizen Kane. It's a very good movie. Very, very few people have heard of it. I've seen it. It's directed and starring Orson Welles, written by Henry Mankiewicz, the lead character in the movie called Mank. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Okay. All
And,
right.
and I don't know if you've heard of it twice on the same pick.
Okay.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Anyways,
Citizen
yeah.
Citizen Kane's obviously a good pick. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. It swings back to Marta then for your third pick.
Okay. This is gonna be a really, really weird one, but it takes place during the Christmas holidays. Wake and Fright, the Australian horror. I don't know if you
Ooh.
guys have seen that one.
Have
It's
not.
like a school teacher that goes away to like the Australian outback for a Christmas vacation, and he like gets sucked into this like fever dream of drinking, and he can't leave, and it's super weird. But it's set during
I've
Christmas
heard
time,
this.
so
This is interesting.
there you go.
Interesting.
Sweet.
I have to check that one
Okay.
out.
Hmm.
I have added it to my watch list already.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Okay. I guess that
Yeah.
means it is my pick now. I will sway from the two very boring picks, I guess.
Yeah, spice it up, Kevin. Let's go.
I'm gonna take Umbrellas of Cherbourg, which
Yeah.
has a Christmas scene at the very end, and is like the single most heartbreaking thing I've ever watched in any movie ever. and I just got the Criterion for this movie, so I'm gonna
Ooh.
watch it again pretty soon. Maybe on Christmas. Maybe I'll save it for Christmas. I don't know, but yeah, this movie rocks, and it's really sad. And that's gonna be my third pick.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, I'm happy with that one. I was hoping I would get it. I was hoping nobody would consider.
What
I
was-
figured.
what was
I
on my
figured
list?
you were. Yeah, I was gonna say. I figured you were my competition for that one.
Yeah.
'Cause
That scene makes me sob like violently.
yeah, it's actually so like I watched this movie because one of my college professors said it was his favorite movie, and we weren't supposed to watch it for class, but he talked about the movie so passionately that the class like begged him to show us the movie. So we watched the movie, and then he was just like sobbing at the end of it, and he was apologizing to us, and he was like, "This is the only movie that makes me cry." And I was like, "This cute old man is crying
Aw.
because we made him watch this movie." And yeah, but I was also crying. It's great. That's a little Kevin background. Anyway, oh, and you get
Yeah, I need to
back to
watch that
back
movie.
third and fourth picks here.
I mean, we mentioned it at the beginning of the episode. I'm gonna take the holdovers here.
Yeah.
Like a new Christmas classic there. And then I don't know why Kevin went with the first Harry Potter, but I'm gonna go. We're gonna get Prisoner of Azkaban here.
No, yeah, that's I thought about
God. No!
I thought about all of the Harry Potter movies, including that one, but I want to take the first one because I think it's the most like Christmassy. It's like it's
the
like
first
little
one's the
kids
most
and like the
Christmassy.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Prisoners of Azkaban.
It's not the
is,
best. It's not the
one
best
of the great
movie.
I'm
movies.
gonna
so-
win, Kevin. There we go.
Yeah, I get it. You want to win. It's obviously that's a better movie, but I was thinking in the Christmas spirit. My bad for being festive and
Yeah.
caring about
Oh, okay. So now
the
you're
beauty of the
festive one.
holiday. Yeah.
No, Kevin's just a big Chris Columbus fan. He's on the
Yeah.
record saying Chris Columbus is a more
Yeah.
talented filmmaker than Alfonso Cuarón.
That's
Yeah,
crazy
you heard it here
because
first.
Alfonso Cuarón made one of my like 10 favorite movies, but fair enough.
Yeah, well, Christopher Columbus
yeah,
made
well.
2 of your 10.
Actually, he
favorite
made 2.
movies, so-
No, Alfonso Cuarón made 2 of my 10 favorite movies, actually.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Anyway, no, yeah, that's a good pick.
someone made Home Alone, so
Okay. That means it's back to me, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little torn here, but I'm gonna take the movie that I was referencing before we started recording that is just not even close to a Christmas movie. I'm gonna take The Hunt, directed by Thomas Vinterberg.
Okay.
Which has just like the best Christmas scene ever. It is, yeah. It's not a Christmas movie whatsoever, but the scene that takes place on Christmas is very tough to watch. I won't get into specifics in case people don't know the plot of the movie, but one of my favorite movies, and that Christmas scene specifically is maybe my favorite scene in the movie. So I
You-
kind of had to pick that.
Couldn't have picked a bleaker Christmas movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, that's kind of why I needed to like soften it by taking Home Alone and Harry
Yeah, the
Potter
two Christmas
first. This
ones.
way, yeah, just very Christmassy movies, just like lots of joy, so that I wouldn't feel bad about taking The Hunt on the back end, because it is just not. I mean, like, just the most fucked up possible movie to take in a Christmas draft. But Anyway.
It's your pick, Marta?
yeah, it
Is
is
it-
your pick. Yeah,
I
fourth
can't
pick.
keep track of who goes next.
I have a list on. I have the little
Amazing.
order on my phone. So
Okay. Fuck, I'm torn. You know what? Let's just do another horror movie. I'm gonna go Deep Red.
okay.
Oh,
Argento.
yeah.
Shout out.
Argento.
It's
Speaking of
a
Giallo.
huge component to why the things happen that happen.
The things to be happening.
Yeah, I have to watch that one.
The happening.
Is good.
The Happening? That's not a Christmas movie.
No,
Yeah. It'd be cooler if it was.
Would it though?
Would it
It's
be?
already
I think it's
pretty
already pretty
cool.
cool. It's already
Yeah.
a pretty cool movie.
Yeah, I mean-
okay.
Okay.
I think this means Doug gets his final 2 picks here.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Here comes the Godfather.
oh, my closing out.
The Godfather.
Yes. Oh, what? Yeah, that's my next pick. It's The Godfather. What are we doing here? What the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
fuck
on my
you.
list,
I'm,
but it was
Yeah,
lower on my
yeah,
list.
yeah. Here it comes.
yeah, I'm drafting Francis Ford Coppola's The
Yeah,
Godfather,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
What are we talking? Like,
All right,
Yeah.
everybody on TikTok's gonna call Doug the winner now. We
Yeah,
go.
okay.
yeah. Well, listen, brother. Obviously, that's one of the first movies I thought of when we started thinking about this.
Here
This
comes
idea
the
for the
guy.
draft.
That's
Good
when
one.
you heard the idea of Christmas, you thought the
You
Godfather.
said the Godfather Part 1.
No,
the
well, because like
Godfather
Owen's
2.
whole thing was like, what if we draft like not Christmas movies that have to do with Christmas? And I was
Right,
like,
sure,
oh yeah,
sure,
they go
sure,
yeah.
fucking like Christmas tree shopping in The Godfather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
The Godfather, obviously. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's written and directed by Francis Ford
Can we get
Coppola,
a
starring
can we get a I don't know if you've heard of it counter in the corner for Doug?
Marlon,
Comment how
Marlon
many
Brando, Al
times.
Pacino. Yeah, The
I don't know
Godfather
if you
is
heard
a
of
solid
them,
movie. Solid
Yeah.
movie.
What's the second
Danny
of your two
Glover.
picks?
My final pick in our
This
Christmas
is the
movie
Godfather
draft
Part
is
2.
The Day of the Beast, directed by Alex de la Iglesia, which is a movie about a guy. It takes place during
He
Christmas.
fumbled on the 1-yard line.
It this movie rocks, dude. I don't know if have any of you guys seen it. It takes
What's
place
it
during
called?
Christmas.
I'm
It's
not.
called The Day of the Beast.
It's on my
It's,
watch list somehow,
1995.
even though I have not heard of it, but it's on my watch list already.
Yeah,
Oh.
been there, man.
It's a Spanish film. It's
Oh, I
really,
guess
really
maybe because I saw
cool.
Doug watch it, that might explain.
I'm
it.
adding that to my
Yeah.
list right now.
Yeah, no, it's really, really good. It's about a priest that is trying to sin as much as possible. Before it rocks. It's
Real?
very funny. Very much recommend it. And it takes place during Christmas. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, we're on to our final picks. Then Marta, your final pick.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Romare. I can pick two.
Yeah.
Or go between two. I'm gonna go with A Tale of Winter.
Yeah, that's the one I had on my
Okay.
list. I think
the one.
that's the well, I don't what was
Get
the other one
fucked,
you were
Kevin.
considering?
The other one was My Night at
So let
Maud,
me take that one too.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
which
a good call.
is
Yeah, I think
I
Tale of Winter is probably the better
Better.
pick there. I
yeah.
also just like the movie more. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one's
That's
mine.
that's a really good pick. Yeah, I was considering that as well. It's on my short list. I guess since we're on my final pick, I really don't know what to take last because I have a couple of options. I think I'm gonna go. I don't even like this movie as much as like some of the other ones, but I feel like not taking a rom-com would like be fake. I don't know. I feel like I have to take a Christmas rom-com. So
You're
I'm
taking
gonna
the
take
movie Valentine's Day.
no, I'm gonna take The Holiday. Actually, no, I lied. Take that back. I'll pick a better one. I'm gonna take The
Oh, you said
Apartment,
fuck Nancy
actually.
Myers, that hack fraud.
Yeah,
Not gonna take your
sorry.
movie.
I'm gonna take The Apartment, actually.
You
I
said
think The
I
Apartment's a
hate
cooler
Jude
pick.
Law. He said
Okay, I
Oh,
didn't say
okay,
those
well,
things.
don't drag Jude into this. Come on.
Yeah, I'm
no,
gonna
it's
take The
Kevin.
Apartment.
Kevin by disrespecting the holiday like that.
Yeah.
No, but I disrespected it by
Um,
picking The Apartment. Like, it's not even like, come on.
Listen, I'm sure
That's like-
Nancy
that's-
Myers will understand. We'll ask her
Yeah,
next time
she
she's on the pod.
better. It's The Apartment.
Yeah, Nancy Myers, friend of the pod.
Man, friend of the pod, Nancy Myers.
All right, and you are the final pick of the draft.
So Doug has Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather, and I got Richard Kelly's The Box. I think that's the perfect kind of matchup for that one there. So Richard Kelly's The Box is
Yeah.
my final pick.
Yeah, some say The Box is the Godfather of our time. I've heard.
That's what they
Some
do
say
say
that. Yeah, I mean they call The Box the Godfather of movies.
The Godfather
out.
of movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to recap? I have everybody's picks written down. If you guys want me to all read them, unless we want to just go down.
Yeah,
the
just read them
line.
to us, Kevin.
No, I feel like going down the line is better. I feel like we need to share
Okay.
since it's like Christmas and we gotta be okay. Anyway, my picks. I have Home Alone, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Umbrellas of Cherbourg, The Hunt, and The Apartment. Owen?
Okay. I have
We'll go in the
Black
middle.
Christmas in terms of the title of the episode. I have the Oppenheimer movie. That one came out this year. I don't know if you guys heard of that one. We got The Holdovers, Prisoner of Azkaban, and then Richard Kelly's The Box.
Real. All right,
Nice.
Doug.
Yeah.
Your 5 picks.
I have a bunch of really obscure movies. I have Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, Henry Selick's Nightmare Before Christmas, Orson Welles' Citizen Kane, Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather, and then Alex de la Iglesias' The Day of the Beast from 1995. Those are my 5 Christmas movies.
Solid.
Nice. Okay,
Holy.
those are our 20 Christmas picks then.
Marta did
Did Marta didn't say hers? Marta didn't say theirs.
Oh,
Kevin,
oh,
that was kind of
I'm
Oh,
so
that's true.
silly. I'm sorry. I'm
Come on,
sorry.
dude.
Kevin,
Honestly,
Kevin.
looking-
No, I fucked
Looking
up.
back at mine
Kevin.
now, I'm realizing like what a pretentious asshole I must sound like. But anyways, so let's go
No.
through these.
I mean,
Tok-
if anyone's
Tokyo
an asshole, it's
Godfathers,
Doug.
Fanny and Alexander, Wake and Fright, Deep Red, A Tale of Winter. So
My
Nice.
bonus pick, my
Um,
6th bonus pick is going to be
Godfather
Do we want to do
Terrifier
honorable
3
mentions?
is the
Terrifier
Terrifier 3
3.
teaser.
Do we want to throw out any other movies we were considering? I thought
none
about
of
picking
us
Spencer.
picked. Oh wow! I didn't
I
even
thought of it
think about that.
because
That's a great pick.
the Christmas scene
Wait,
in
what
Spencer
movie?
is so
Oh,
in
Spencer,
Spencer
yeah.
with Kristen Stewart. I love that.
When I was
Christmas scene where she's,
researching,
like,
I
talking to her
landed on that,
kids.
but I haven't seen the movie. I was there's a
Spencer's
Christmas scene in Prometheus.
you landed on it, but you haven't seen the movie. What do you mean?
Prometheus was my honorable mention. I would have taken Prometheus if
Prometheus.
somebody picked one of mine.
I would have gone
Um,
for Riders of Justice with Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh,
I haven't seen that.
the Green.
I also
Knight
thought about
versus
Little
Christmas
Women, but I think I
movie.
took that in a different draft.
Oh.
I considered Little Women, but then I quickly stopped considering it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew the kind of backlash
I never
that
even
I would
gave it a
get
thought.
I knew the kind of backlash I would get from you guys for taking Home Alone and Little Women in the same draft. I just there was no winning.
You did back-to-back Chris Columbus picks.
I'm aware they're like my 2 favorite Christmas movies, though. You talked earlier on the podcast about being true to yourself, and now you want to make fun of me for taking my 2 favorite
It's
Christmas
cool.
movies.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
true
happy
to
you're
all
true to
I'm
yourself.
saying.
I'm allowed to
But
make fun
yours-
of you on our
yeah,
podcast, though. Like,
yourself is like shouldn't be.
Yeah, I get. I listen. I get
none
that
of
you
us
guys don't
picked-
like what it is, but that's who I am.
None of us picked Die Hard, which is a pretty good movie.
I haven't
which is
seen Die
interesting.
Hard, but I
mean, it's
I
fine.
need to get
I just
around.
to
figured
it.
one of you guys would, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
only
if
Kevin
we
would
went a
know
little bit
that,
farther,
I
I would have picked it eventually. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
I was thinking about Carol. I was so close, especially because
Well, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
Todd
landed on
Haynes,
that
that's
as
just May
well, but
December just
I
came
haven't
out,
seen it,
yeah.
so
I love Carol. I kind of want to. Okay, I mean,
that's why I was feeling about The Godfather. I was like, I haven't seen this in a while, so I probably shouldn't. I know it doesn't
Oh.
feel right to me.
no,
you
my
know?
thing with The Godfather was like, oh, this is the greatest movie ever made. I'm gonna pick it. You know?
yeah, I had a pick like that too. I haven't watched.
No, I had to
Gremlins.
I had to
haven't
stay
watched
true to
Gremlins since
myself,
I was
though,
like
you know?
8 years old, but I thought about that.
You saw The Godfather when you were 8 years old?
No, Gremlins.
That's wild.
I thought.
Oh, I thought
Gremlins.
about
I thought about
Oh, I
picking-
forgot about Gremlins.
I thought about
Wow.
picking Gremlins, but
Yeah.
it's been like I was so. I literally,
Yeah,
if I was
same.
gonna
No,
tell you
I
what happens
I
in the
landed
movie,
on that one as well, but I didn't. It's been a while.
yeah.
Owen's just like,
literally
yeah, I just haven't
remember-
seen-
I
the
remember
5
when he
movies Owen
gets
picked are the only
Gizmo,
5
and
movies
then
he's
nothing
seen.
else.
Yeah, no, my list would have been bigger if I picked movies I hadn't seen.
Damn.
All right, that was fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
We're gonna.
Dogs in the Dark.
Oh, what happened to Doug?
Sorry, my bad.
No, we're
Hello.
gonna talk about some news, but I want to say thank you again to you, Marta, for joining us, for coming on, and remind everybody that all of your links will be in the description. Is there anything you wanna plug? You wanna talk about before you leave?
Not really. I mean, happy holidays, I guess.
Happy holidays.
No, but it's been a blast. I'm launching a podcast as well in a few months, so I would love to have you guys on too.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's kind of it for me.
Big news.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Big
it was a
news.
very
Breaking
casual
news.
sort of.
Breaking
Yeah,
news.
Just slide that in there.
It looks like
Well,
a
you were
really
like-
exclusive announcement.
Yeah, you were like
Yeah,
not
yeah.
really, and then you just, and then you just did have something to talk about. Actually.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, of
And
course.
hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
absolutely.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
awesome. Bye.
Be well.
so we're gonna jump into news. Thanks again to Marta, of course, like I said. And
fuck Doug.
usual, fuck Doug for leaving us.
Fuck Doug in the chat. Everyone, fuck Doug in the chat.
Yeah, all right. Well, don't do that. Don't fuck Doug in the chat. That's crazy. Anyway, so it's just me and Owen for the news, but of course, our regular reminders to like, comment, and subscribe if you like listening to us talk about Black Christmas, as well as our little Christmas draft. And of course, leave comments, leave feedback on who you think won the Christmas draft. And follow us on Twitter.
Let me know who you thought lost it.
Lost it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you put the shades on?
Because we're in news.
Is that for the news? Is that your news bit? Okay. Let's jump into some news then. We've got, for starters, the one piece of news that I included specifically for Doug, but me and Owen will have to talk on Doug's behalf. We usually don't really talk about trailers, but the Furiosa trailer has been a hot topic ever since its release.
You think they'll drop Furiosa shirts at Hot Topic? Or
that's a good question that I was not expecting at all.
Because I mean, they got the horror, but do you think Anya Taylor-Joy will make it in
they have the
topic? Horror.
I don't know.
Like the new movie Megan. They have shirts of Megan, the horror.
Oh. You said the horror?
Yeah, the horror.
Okay. I mean, you might want to enunciate a little bit more next time, because that didn't sound very good.
Kevin, what do you mean?
I think you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean.
Anyway, are you excited for Furiosa? Are you?
Yeah, no, I showed my mom that trailer.
What did your mom think?
I don't remember.
Then why did you bring it up?
To show my excitement.
Right. Okay. No, it looks fucking cool. There's a lot of like weird people on the internet who had to be like, this looks bad for some reason. I don't know what trailer those people were watching, but us here at the Looks Like a Movie podcast are super excited, and we want to specifically echo Doug's excitement, since he's not here to do it himself, because Doug's, I know that he would be freaking out. I think he has watched that trailer so much. The reason why Doug doesn't have any movies watched this week for the beginning of the episode is because he's just been watching that trailer on repeat. Anyway, we have in our next piece of news our lineup for the Variety Actors on Actors interviews that we will be getting shortly. I'm gonna just read through all these names, so bear with me for a second, but then we will discuss who your favorite is after. But we have Cillian Murphy and Margot Robbie. We have Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo, Emily Blunt and Anne Hathaway, Halle Bailey and Rachel Zegler, Emma Stone and Bradley Cooper, Coleman Domingo and Jacob Elordi, Carey Mulligan and Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright and Taraji P. Henson, Greta Lee and Andrew Scott, Annette Bening and Julianne Moore, Natalie Portman and Paul Mescal, and Alden Ehrenreich and Divine Joy Randolph. Is there when you heard the Actors on Actors news, is there somebody that you liked seeing paired up the most? Is there somebody that you would have liked to see?
I think the Paul and Natalie is like
that's also my favorite. In terms of
like the two best together. I mean, obviously the big one's gonna be the Cillian and Margot,
right?
But I mean,
they knew, Variety knew what would happen if they put Cillian Murphy and Paul Mescal in a room together. They knew how I would react. That would be. No, I wouldn't even have to watch another movie again if they. Just I wish
we got Paul and Elordi. I think that would have been.
That would also be pretty cool. Yeah. But I'm happy. I mean, my two favorite working actors pretty much are both represented this year in the Actors on Actors. So I'm very excited for those. And I think I'm looking forward to the Paul and Natalie conversation. I feel like that'll be a cool one. I feel like they'll have some interesting stuff to talk about.
They talk about Star Wars.
I saw some. Why would they do that? No, I saw someone mention because there's like sometimes they pair these people up based on like their history or whatever, right? And and I thought that I didn't think about it when I first read it, but then I saw somebody tweet about it. The Emily Blunt and Anne Hathaway pairing for Devil Wears Prada is fucking awesome. I hope they talk about the Devil Wears Prada. That would be super fun.
Do you think they'll talk about Black Widow?
Why would they do that?
Is
Is this your bit right now? Just naming movies that are not.
No. What do you mean? Why wouldn't?
Also, did you see the preview of the Cillian Murphy and Margot Robbie one where Cillian is just standing and sitting at the same time? He's just like, you didn't see that?
No.
You got it.
Why do you stand and sit at the same time?
For the people listening, I know people are listening who have definitely seen the picture that I'm talking about. But there's a picture of Cillian Murphy in his chair, and it's like this is the chair, right? Like the way a chair is, and he's just diagonally across, like straight down. Like it looks like he's standing but going diagonal. It's so silly. I love everything about him. He's my favorite. I'm looking forward to that one too, of course. But anyway,
of course.
Weird transition, I guess, from that. But actually, yeah, anyway. Next piece of news, more than 1,300 actors and artists have signed a letter condemning censorship against speaking out on Palestine, citing the recent firing of Scream star Melissa Barrera, among them Olivia Colman, Amy Lou Wood, Emma Seligman, and Harriet Walter. I believe this list, because I saw somebody bringing up how a lot of people weren't on this list. I believe this is a list organized by British actors, so I'm pretty sure that it's mostly just British people on it. It's nice to see Olivia Colman on there because that's a big
all the
name,
Brits,
of course. Yeah, obviously not that other actors shouldn't, I don't know, speak up or do something similar like Hollywood American actors or whatever. Obviously shouldn't stay silent on that. So the fact that it's just a list of British actors is not an excuse, but it's a welcome thing to see 1,300 famous people on a list backing Melissa Barrera. So that's a good piece of news. We have I'm gonna squeeze these all into one little piece of news here, but we just had Bob Iger firing off a list of awful statements, starting with him and Disney execs saying that their main goal now is quality over quantity, which should have probably always been the goal naturally. But apparently they've just exposed that the goal before was quantity over quality. Not really a surprising piece of news, I guess. But then he said that their jobs at Disney should be to entertain first, not send messages, which is a particularly weird quote because you can't really. I mean, you can't really think of a Disney movie without messages. It's like what are we talking about? Or any movie without messages.
That's insane. It's like when people are like, well, I don't want politics in our movies. Like every movie is political, and it's just
a weird thing that, and I think that might be like one of the great examples of someone saying something that like proves how disconnected they are from the art. You know what I mean? Like as somebody who's in a position of power, like as a CEO who doesn't actually have to care about the art, like only somebody who doesn't have any appreciation for art or the art form would say something like that. Like you really can't, you would never hear that from somebody who's actually working on these projects. And then the final little piece of him talking, he was talking about sequels, and he said that he would not apologize, stating, "We made too many." I will not
apologize.
He said, "We made too many. That doesn't mean we're not going to continue to make them. We only greenlight a sequel if we think the story is worth telling." I just like they've probably had some bad sequels.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I don't know how true that part is.
Yikes.
But that's our Bob Iger news. Then
our little Bob Iger section.
As we continue on, as we continue talking about awful people, Sebastian Stan has been cast as young Donald Trump in The Apprentice. with Ali Abbasi set to direct, who made a movie last year. I was like, at first, I was like, do I want to watch something about Donald Trump? But Ali Abbasi directed a movie last year called Holy Spider, which I have not seen, but looked pretty interesting. Like I want to check it out. I think I'd be interested to see like what this apprentice thing is actually going to be as it comes together. I know we have like other casting news, but I just mentioned Sebastian Stan because he's playing young Donald Trump. I think Jeremy Strong was one of the pieces of casting news. I could be wrong about that. You are muted, by the way, Owen.
But
Pod difficulties. What were you saying?
no, it doesn't. I don't even.
It's too late now. It's a lost thought. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe turns out to be an interesting project. We'll have to see more, I guess. Next, second to last piece of news here. Thanksgiving 2 has been confirmed. Yeah,
Eli Roth
interesting.
back.
Yeah, interesting piece of news to pick apart here, obviously, because when we did, and it's worth mentioning, I think, when we did our Thanksgiving podcast episode, we didn't really have, I guess, up until the time that we were recording, the insight as to Eli Roth's Zionism, as well as now the spyglass Zionism that we've seen.
Double Zionism.
Scream stuff, and of course Spyglass is also responsible for producing Thanksgiving, so just a kind of weird project to be excited about as people who liked the first Thanksgiving movie, but obviously all of these people involved, it's not the kind of people that you want to. I mean, obviously you want Eli Roth involved in the sense that he made the first Thanksgiving and he knows what he's doing as a director.
It's a weird situation, for sure.
But yeah, but that's the thing. We very shortly,
2025 Thanksgiving. They're gonna take a year off.
So we're gonna not have to worry about it for at least over a year. But anyway, our last kind of small but exciting piece of news I want to end on, because it's related to the fact that we've got our whole Christmas theme going on, which is that Jordan Peele's next film and Robert Eggers' Nosferatu are now both set to release on Christmas Day next year. So we have I don't know off the top of my head, but how many Christmas days in history have we had with movies this good coming out?
Probably a lot,
Christmas,
actually.
Well,
Christmas
yeah, probably a lot.
It's
No
Way Home came out on Christmas.
Okay. No, it's a popular day to release a movie. But I just mean in the scope of these are two of the brightest
big ones.
Directors, newer directors,
brightest bald heads in the industry.
Okay. No, but they're you know what I mean? People are both very excited for anything that these two make next. So to have them both releasing something on the same day, and that day being Christmas, and I imagine there might even be other movies coming out on that day as well. So
they wouldn't if they were smart,
Right. Well, you never know. If they just throw a blockbuster in there, then Jordan Peele and Eggers could both lose money. But
that's not nice.
Yeah, not a nice thing. But not very Christmas spirit of them either.
The next Transformers movie is coming out on Christmas.
Okay. No, we don't. I mean, obviously, we don't.
G.I. Joe versus Transformers, December 25th, 2024. Robert Eggers makes $5 and a sandwich.
We're gonna after the new year, we're gonna do a kind of our episode where we talk about most anticipated movies of next year. But I imagine both of these are gonna be pretty high on both of our lists, right? Can you confirm?
Yeah. We don't really know much about the Jordan Peele thing, but we kind of know all we need to know.
Jordan Peele's making it.
A movie. But Nosferatu, I'm very excited for as well.
Yeah, I think both of those are gonna rock. Hopefully,
it's up there with Deadpool 3.
I have more blind faith in Jordan Peele than any working director right now. Honestly, whatever. I'm ready. Day one, there no matter what. Until he disappoints me, which I just don't see happening. I'll be there every time. Anyway, that's our last piece of news for today. So we're going to wrap up the episode. You can join us next week for episode 43. We've got more guests coming all through December.
Yeah, we got a big month coming. This is
Yeah.
just the start of our little Christmas
Yeah, you guys.
extravaganza.
Hopefully people like
We got plenty more
today's
to come.
episode. We've got a whole little Christmas lineup here organized for everybody. But for now, we'll see you later.